Something extraordinary just happened in the tech world, and most people haven't fully grasped what it means yet. OpenAI didn't just release another update or tweak to their existing products. They've launched something that could fundamentally reshape how billions of people interact with the internet. We're talking about ChatGPT Atlas, a browser that's so different from what you're used to that calling it just a browser completely misses the point. This isn't Chrome with an AI chatbot stuck on the side. This is a complete reimagining of what browsing the web actually means.
The launch happened on October 21st, and the implications are already sending shockwaves through Silicon Valley. When Sam Altman opened the live demonstration, he made a statement that should have made every tech executive sit up and pay attention. We haven't seen real browser innovation since tabs were invented. Think about that for a moment. Tabs. That's the last major innovation in how we navigate the internet, and that technology is decades old. Everything since then has been incremental, slightly faster loading times, better security, cleaner interfaces. But the fundamental experience of typing URLs, clicking links, and juggling dozens of open tabs, that hasn't changed at all, until now. Atlas is available globally right now for Mac users, with Windows, iOS, and Android versions coming soon. But here's where it gets interesting. The full agent mode, the feature that makes Atlas truly revolutionary, is currently exclusive to ChatGPT Plus and Pro subscribers. And when you understand what agent mode actually does, you'll see why this limitation exists. This isn't just a feature, it's a glimpse into a future where your browser doesn't just show you information, it actively works for you. During the launch demonstration, something remarkable happened that perfectly illustrates what makes Atlas different. The team showed Atlas being instructed to book a meal delivery. The AI didn't just search for options or provide links. It navigated to Instacart, identified all the necessary ingredients for a specific recipe, added them to the cart, and completed the entire checkout process, all while the user simply watched. No clicking through menus, no comparing options across multiple tabs, no filling out forms. The AI just handled everything. That's not a browser feature. That's a digital assistant that lives inside your internet experience. The team behind Atlas reads like a who's who of browser development history. Ben Goodger, one of the original architects behind both Chrome and Firefox, is involved, alongside designers and engineers who've shaped products at Apple and Mozilla. These aren't people experimenting with their first browser project. These are the veterans who built the browsing experiences that billions of people use every single day. And they're saying that everything they built before was just the prologue. Altman described Atlas as the beating heart of ChatGPT, explaining that this is how they envision people experiencing the internet going forward, not as a collection of separate websites accessed through searches, but as one continuous conversation with an AI that understands context, remembers your preferences, and actively helps you accomplish your goals. At first glance, Atlas looks reassuringly familiar. There's a search bar where you can type. You can enter URLs directly. You can open multiple tabs. But the moment you actually start using it, the differences become impossible to ignore. When you click on a link from a search result, the screen doesn't just load that web page and leave you to figure things out. Instead, it splits. The web page appears on one side, and a live ChatGPT conversation opens on the other. That chat interface can immediately summarize the entire page, analyze data you're looking at, compare products side by side, or even rewrite sections of text that you highlight. They call this feature Cursor Chat, and the name is perfectly descriptive. Highlight any text in an email, a document, or a web page, and ChatGPT instantly helps you improve it, fix errors, or rewrite it in a different tone. You're not copying text, opening ChatGPT in another tab, pasting it in, getting a response, and copying it back. The AI is right there, embedded in your browsing experience, ready to help the instant you need it. But perhaps the most powerful feature is something that runs quietly in the background: memory. Atlas doesn't just respond to what you're asking right now. It remembers what you've searched for in the past, what pages you've read, what projects you're working on, and uses all of that context to make your experience more personalized over time. If you spent last week comparing different laptop models, Atlas remembers that. When you return this week, it can proactively show you updated options, new reviews, or price changes without you having to start your research from scratch. And here's the critical part: you control all of this. You can review what Atlas remembers, delete specific memories, or clear everything entirely. If you want a completely fresh experience with no memory at all, you can open an incognito window, and Atlas functions like it's meeting you for the first time. This agent capability isn't completely new territory for OpenAI. They've been building toward this for over a year through various experiments. Remember the early demonstrations where ChatGPT could actually control a computer interface, clicking through tasks on your behalf? Atlas represents the evolution of that concept, taking it from experimental demonstrations and transforming it into a full, functional browser experience. The difference now is that it's not working in simulated environments or controlled demonstrations. This is working on real, live websites in real time. Performance matters enormously here, and early feedback suggests OpenAI understood that. During the launch stream, Altman emphasized that Atlas isn't just intelligent, it's genuinely fast and smooth to use. That distinction is crucial. Previous attempts at AI-enhanced browsing often felt sluggish or clunky, creating just enough friction to make people return to their familiar browsers. For AI browsers to actually succeed in the mainstream market, they can't just be smarter than Chrome or Safari. They have to feel just as fast, just as responsive, and just as reliable. Early impressions suggest Atlas manages to deliver on that promise. This launch has actually been years in the making. OpenAI first hinted at browser ambitions back in mid-2024 when they teased SearchGPT, an experimental AI-powered search engine. That project never became a standalone product, but those ideas weren't abandoned. They were incorporated into what Atlas has become. And the timing of this launch is absolutely perfect. Over the past year, AI-enhanced browsers have emerged as the next major battleground in tech. Perplexity launched Comet, reimagining search as a conversational interface that can summarize videos, organize tabs, and even make purchases for you. Opera introduced Neon. Brave added AI layers to their privacy-focused browser. And Google has been steadily integrating Gemini directly into Chrome. Atlas is entering a growing war for the future of how we access and interact with information online. Speaking of Google, the market's reaction to Atlas was immediate and telling. Alphabet's stock dropped approximately 1.8% following the launch announcement. That might not sound dramatic, but consider what it represents. Investors immediately recognized Atlas as a genuine threat to Google's browser dominance. Chrome currently commands roughly 72% of the global browser market, a position that seems unassailable. But OpenAI isn't trying to compete with Chrome's existing features. They're attempting to redefine what a browser's purpose actually is. Instead of a tool for navigating between pages, Atlas positions the browser as an intelligent assistant that understands your context, anticipates your needs, and actively works to accomplish your goals. During the demonstrations, developers showed Atlas summarizing entire research papers, comparing products from multiple retailers simultaneously, and analyzing spreadsheet data in real time, all from the sidebar without requiring you to leave the page you're viewing. The goal is to eliminate the constant tab switching that defines modern browsing. If you're researching flights, for example, you can ask the agent to filter options by price, weather conditions at your destination, and number of stopovers, all without leaving the airline's website. Atlas handles those calculations and comparisons in the background, updating your view with relevant information. Privacy concerns naturally arise with any system this powerful, and OpenAI has implemented several safeguards. Users have complete control over which websites the AI can access and read. You can clear browsing history, disable memory features entirely, or use incognito mode, which automatically signs you out of ChatGPT so none of your activity gets logged. Unlike browser extensions or system-level assistants, Atlas cannot run code on your computer, download executable files, or access your file system. It automatically pauses when you visit sensitive sites like banking platforms or financial dashboards, and always asks permission before taking any action on your behalf. For families, Atlas incorporates ChatGPT's existing parental controls with additional options specifically for the browser experience. Parents can disable memory features or turn off agent mode entirely for children's accounts. These controls will likely help OpenAI avoid the privacy backlash that other AI tools have faced when mixing personal data with automated actions. What makes this launch particularly significant is how it fits into OpenAI's broader strategy. They're clearly building toward what they describe as a true super assistant, an AI that follows you seamlessly across every platform you use. You can access ChatGPT on desktop computers, mobile devices, the web, and now directly inside your browser. The system even connects with WhatsApp, where over 50 million people have used ChatGPT this year. However, due to new WhatsApp policy changes, that integration will end on January 15, 2026. OpenAI is encouraging users to link their WhatsApp accounts to their main ChatGPT accounts before that date, so their chat history transfers over. After that deadline, ChatGPT will only be available through iOS, Android, the web version, and Atlas itself. OpenAI is using this transition moment strategically, emphasizing that Atlas provides all the same capabilities as WhatsApp integration, plus additional features like voice conversations, deep research tools, and file uploads. It's their way of guiding users into this new ecosystem while maintaining continuity across platforms. Once you link your accounts, your phone number and previous conversations appear in your unified ChatGPT history, creating one seamless experience, regardless of which device or platform you're using. Not everyone is celebrating this shift toward AI-powered browsing, though. Some technology analysts have raised concerns about what happens when browsers become too intelligent. Patty Harrington from Forrester Research warned that if a browser learns too much about your preferences, it might begin shaping your experience rather than simply assisting you. The concern is that the AI could start deciding what information you see instead of neutrally presenting options for you to choose from. That's a subtle but profound difference. The line between a helpful assistant and a controlling filter that limits your exposure to information. There's also the advertising question looming over everything. If OpenAI begins using the behavioral data collected through Atlas for ad targeting, it could directly challenge Google's dominance in online advertising. Analysts at D.A. Davidson suggested this could mark OpenAI's entry into the advertising market, potentially competing with Google's approximately 90% share of search advertising revenue. That's exactly why regulators are starting to pay closer attention. A recent study by the European Broadcasting Union, conducted with the BBC, found some troubling statistics about AI accuracy. The research examined responses from major AI assistants across 14 languages and found that 45% of responses contained at least one serious factual error, while over 80% had some form of inaccuracy. The study tested ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and Perplexity. In one notable example, ChatGPT confidently stated that Pope Francis remained the current pope months after his reported death, a mistake that highlights how fragile AI-driven trust can be. The EBU's media director warned that when people can't determine what information to trust online, they eventually stop trusting anything, which can undermine democratic participation and informed decision-making. Despite these legitimate concerns, the momentum behind AI browsing is undeniable. ChatGPT now serves over 800 million users worldwide. A recent survey found that approximately 60% of Americans and nearly 3/4 of people under 30 already use AI to find information at least occasionally. That represents a massive audience that's already comfortable with AI assistants and potentially ready to adopt a browser that integrates the AI they're already using into their daily web experience.
Several companies have entered the AI browsing space, Comet, Neon, Brave among them, but Atlas distinguishes itself through its agent capabilities. It doesn't just summarize pages or answer questions about content. It actually navigates websites and completes tasks for you in real time, right before your eyes. Since Chrome's revolutionary launch in 2008, browsing fundamentally hasn't changed. We've gotten faster speeds and better security, but the core experience remained the same. Atlas represents the first genuine paradigm shift in nearly 2 decades. The question now isn't whether AI will transform browsing, it's whether Atlas will be the product that defines how that transformation happens.